I think we should probably stop saying that.
I agree.
Because we're doing our best, and timing wise, it just is kind of like all over the place because summer's busy.
Summer is busy, and we keep thinking we're going to do something, and then life gets in the way.
Literally. It's been insane. Life has been insane lately. And we're in the midst of summer, so I think it's just going to get crazier the next couple months, and then hopefully calm down when it is snowing outside. Because we're physically unable to get anywhere.
This is true. And then we can just hunker down and do podcast after podcast.
Yeah. Did you just say
hunker?
Oh.
We're going to hunker down.
I thought you said honker. Like beep beep. Oh my God, I'm sorry. All right, cheers.
All right, cheers. I love these glasses, by the way. They are super cute. Adorable.
My friend Preeti got them for me for my birthday last year, I think.
Oh my God, I have forgotten your birthday present. We need to have it on the schedule of we're going to dinner, I'm bringing the present, and we're celebrating you because it's now 2 months past your birthday.
That's fine.
Wow.
I like to celebrate my birthday all year, so this is perfect.
Okay, but I have the most fun gift that I wanted. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I wanted to get your reaction to it, so.
We'll do that next time.
And I ordered something for you off of one of those Facebook stores or whatever. There was an ad, and I saw something that I liked for myself, and then they had something that I thought you would like, and I don't know if it will ever arrive. I just have
you haven't gotten either?
No, I just have my PayPal confirmation.
Oh,
oh my God.
I
don't know if it's one of those Temu. Is that what it's called?
Temu.
I don't know if it's a Temu thing. It's not. It didn't say that. It said something else. But so hopefully, maybe it'll come next summer. I don't know.
Or not at all. I want when eBay I don't know when eBay started, but I was 13 or 14. I ordered my mom a knockoff Louis Vuitton purse. And got money for my sister, got money for my brother, and it never came. It was fraudulent. I think we paid $60, and Louis Vuitton is an Italian luxury brand. It should have been way more. So,
well, this was a long time ago. It was 20 years ago. So, it was still
what's 20 years ago? Yeah, $60 is a lot.
Yeah,
$20
absolutely.
a person. I didn't even have a job at the time. I don't think. So, anywho, welcome to Bring Something to the Table. I'm Shelby.
And I'm Leslie.
And we're here.
We are.
My house.
With episode whatever. And we're just figuring all of it out with our production and location. And what we know is that we love it and people seem to like it. So we're going to keep figuring it out until we can get it.
Yes, we have a new producer helping us, Carlos, and I can't for the life of me remember his production company name, but I think it's Oso. He's in Ecuador, of all places, and we're in the United States of America, so I think that's really fucking cool.
Yes, and we are super excited about Carlos, and he has just helped us immensely and walked us through the process and explained things and has been kind and patient and really lovely. So, woohoo, Carlos.
Woo.
Let's do a cheers to him too.
Cheers to Carlos. Yay. The patience is the most important thing because Leslie and I are both very smart in other aspects of our lives. But when it comes to cameras and audio and microphones, we're just hello.
We'll write a manual. I think we've learned a lot now. We'll write a manual for other people who want to start this.
Honestly,
here's what you don't do, and here's what might work.
Yeah, and you don't have to pay a shit ton of money to go to a podcasting studio at first, at least. And you can figure stuff out with your iPhones and Amazon purchases.
Yeah, isn't it amazing how you can just do all these things now? It's not a big crazy production studio.
No, it's my house. 734 square feet of pure chaos.
Everything in behind. One day we'll have to show,
behind the scenes. Yeah. We'll take pictures of what this looks like now because this is a new setup than what we've been doing. Thanks to Carlos and his coaching. So we'll have to, we'll take pictures and show what that looks like. Okay,
so
sorry.
We're tangenting.
Circling back. What are you bringing to the table today?
Oh, gosh. I wish sometimes that we will plot these out so that I can think something through before just being spontaneous.
They're better this way. We can do that.
I know. But what am I bringing to the table? I think a day of like curiosity. I'm just
Hmm.
staying really open today. I kind of did some meditation before I got out of bed this morning to center myself. And I've had a couple different things going on this morning, different appointments, and then this. How is it going to turn out? And just staying open and curious and not have expectations.
Oh, that's a good one. See, you can like do stuff off the cuff, and it's good. I think it's better sometimes that
Okay.
way when you just like go with your gut.
What are you bringing to the
Oh,
table?
Jesus Christ. Like, just do it. And no, I don't have one. It has been a very stressful week. Well, past week. Like, I'm
Right.
starting to like get my bearings back now. So I think I'm bringing calmness to it all. Like, I've been feeling like I've been just working like crazy since we got back from my trip in Colombia
Mm-hmm.
and taking care of the dog and stuff. Because we had like a health scare with him, and I don't know, maybe still do. I don't know. We'll find out. But I am trying to like ground myself more and figure out like a plan for things instead of just feeling like my head is like going a million different miles an hour. So it's like taking a step back and calming the fuck down because I just get crazy.
Yeah, I think that's uh, when there are emotional triggers and scary things in the unknown, it's easy to start spiraling and getting into your head.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
Like,
going inward and calm. Be like, okay,
yes.
have a freak out. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We should all do that. Have a pity party, whatever we have. Take a day, take two. I don't care. And then you can start, let the dust settle. And you're a very action oriented person, though.
I have to be. I can't wallow.
Yeah.
Like otherwise I'll like drive myself insane. And probably like the people around me, I drive them insane too. So I did like with Cash and like all of that stuff that went down with like his health. I gave myself that afternoon last week when
Mm-hmm.
we thought he had bladder cancer. And then I was like, all right, now we got a plan. We got to research, figure all the stuff out. So it's like giving yourself that grace to break down,
Mm-hmm.
I guess, a little bit,
Yeah, absolutely.
but not staying in it and taking steps forward, even if they're teeny tiny little millimeters or
Yeah.
crawls at this friggin' point. Um, Yeah, and same thing for, well, if you want, we didn't really talk about what we were going to cover in this episode,
I
but
know.
I was thinking maybe like my layoff and some more career stuff. I know we've talked about career stuff in the past, but this seems like a little bit more like aggressive.
Well, that's a lot, right? I mean, in like 2 weeks, you went through a layoff and potentially your dog having cancer. Like that is a
Yeah.
lot to take on. And yes, yeah, absolutely. We should.
And
And
like,
other people are going through layoffs now too. It's just a really scary time. And you think that y- you're invincible in some ways and irreplaceable. And that's the scary thing is you start to learn that everyone's replaceable.
truly, like if you're not running your own thing,
Mm-hmm.
and even in some cases that like if like for you you're in real estate, like you could be working with somebody and then all of a sudden they can be like, no, I don't want to work with you anymore, maybe contractually. I don't know if that pertains, but like people can drop you like immediately if they wanted to, like friendships,
Yeah.
relationships, all of it. So it's like how do you as yourself and yourself only like become like versatile, I guess, and like be able to like roll with these like crazy transitions in life. I don't have the answer.
No, I think we kind of talked about that the other day of like just not putting all your eggs in one basket and
Yeah.
being diversified. And especially now when it's like tumultuous and you just don't know what the job market's going to look like, or if you're investing in stocks, for example, is it going to crash? And like
Mm.
just having multiple areas of revenue, multiple streams, so that you're not so reliant on one particular area where people can just be like, yeah, nope, don't want to work with you anymore.
Yeah. That's a really good point. And I was talking to someone like that came to my mind because I was talking to someone who I used to work with. So I'm not, I don't know, like everyone close to me like knows the name of the company and whatever, and it's on my LinkedIn. So fuck it, I don't care. But I did sign an NDA in
Oh.
order to get my severance, so I can't talk too much shit. But the layoffs, I just blew a spit bubble.
I did not see
I'm
that.
so sorry.
At least you didn't hit me. I didn't get wet.
God. Hanging on by a thread.
You didn't do the hack tui.
I didn't. Do you want to talk about that?
Oh my God. Poor girl.
Yeah. I'm so glad that like Facebook had just started when I was in college. Like, thank God there was no like Instagram or Snapchat.
Yes.
Things
and
would
TikToks
have.
and
Oh my God. I would have been like.
To record everything? Oh, yeah.
I did some dumb shit.
Well, we all did.
Yeah. So anyways, layoffs. Sorry, tangent. I was talking to somebody that I used to work with. She got laid off before I did. And these layoffs have been happening, I would say, like rolling every quarter for like the past year or so.
Yeah, I do recall you saying that. Oh my gosh, so and so got laid off. And
yeah.
You skated through that? Whatever you
went slithered. I got
for like a year with nothing happening. So
yeah,
that was good.
But it planted the seed of fear in everybody, which I think is even worse sometimes than actually getting laid off, because then like you have no idea what to do differently to not like get let go. So my company, I initially started working with, it was like a small mom and pop consulting company. And then they sold to this bigger corporation, and that's been like the transition since, I don't even know, 2019 maybe. So it's slowly gotten more corporate. You become a number. You don't get to call any more shots when it's like a bigger company. So her and I were talking, and she's traveling the world. She's in Istanbul right now.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, hey, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing with like work and money and everything? And she was just saying like she's doing a bunch of different things, and where she's like traveling is very cheap. Like the United States is insane. The expense, like everything, food, living, all of it's so expensive. So she's been able to like save money by traveling to all these beautiful places outside the country, and then do things that like actually bring her joy. And she's making money that way. So I just needed like comfort, I guess, in a way. That's why I reached out, and I was like talking to her about it. You just are in a tailspin of like questioning your worth, because I think we put,
absolutely,
I mean, I don't know if this was like your experience when you were starting your career, but like a lot of your self-worth and like how you define yourself is based off of like your career.
Oh, my life has always been that way. Even when I was like 15, working at the animal hospital at like 5 a.m, I was like, this is my job and this is who I am. And it's just been that way. So yeah, and that's how you get your feedback and your performance reviews. Like, I'm doing well and I'm doing great and I'm getting paid and I'm getting bonuses and it feels comfortable and secure.
Yeah.
And of course it helps build up your self-esteem. So then to just have it pulled out from under you
completely.
You have been dedicated and loyal and the problem solver and the fabric holding everything together, especially your type of role. And then they'd be like, sorry.
Yeah.
It's just, I can't imagine that feeling.
It was wild. I blacked out. I was literally like sitting on the couch over there.
I don't mean to laugh.
You were the first person I called right after it happened, because I was like, literally, I don't know what's happened. I don't know what to do.
I wasn't good. I didn't know what to do.
No one does, because you don't learn about this stuff in college. Like, at least I didn't. I don't know about like kids these days, but no one ever talked about getting laid off. And like my dad got laid off. It was a family of 5, like 3 kids. My mom didn't work, which is like a whole other thing. But he gets laid off and we're all depending on him. I'm like, I can't imagine the stress that like he felt having to deal with that. And like, I have a dog and like a mortgage, and that's it. But in a lifestyle that I like to keep up and credit card debt. But like, I couldn't imagine that happening to me if I had a family.
Yeah. Having all those humans who rely on you.
Yeah.
And then it feels hopeless for a while. I mean, you're young, and I think now for you, it's kind of a blessing. It's hard to see it now, but I do think you're going to be in the right position to just take all of your skill set and have you be really happy with what you're doing, because you have so much to give. And anybody would be so lucky to have you on their team. And I can kind of redefine what that looks like.
Yeah.
And you're pretty nomadic. So maybe it is something where you don't you're not tethered to just being in Denver, but you could work from Columbia or wherever you might want to go. And
Yep. That would be ideal. The office life, the 9 to 5 office life has never like felt
yeah,
right to me. It's not natural. But like that's the expectation of you. Like you graduate from high school, you go to college, you get a degree, and then you get a job. Like we don't take in the United States, like we don't take time off
no.
at all.
And now that everything is, after COVID with Zoom and Microsoft Teams being readily available, you're never off. And with
Yeah.
our phones that can do things, you just don't turn things off anymore and you're always available. And I think that's not healthy.
Mm-mm.
We don't have like paternity leave. We don't really have that here like other countries. Once you have a baby, like both couples get to take like 6 weeks off and just do what's important.
Yeah.
Ugh,
And 6 weeks isn't even enough.
no.
For that. Like you literally brought a human into the world and you want it to fend for it. Like what do you expect? You have to pay somebody else to like take care of the
Take care
kid.
of that child.
Yeah. Riddle me that. And then they're not paying you more to account for the new expense that you have. It's all just absolute bullshit.
Well, and we can't change the United States, unfortunately. We can only change like our circumstances. But it is, and I just go back to the age thing, because I think if we also have people listening, that getting laid off at 45, 50, 55 becomes a whole different thing, especially if you're over 50, because then it's ageism and you're like aging out of the system.
Yeah.
So, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to have just be self-employed and somewhat responsible just for myself, so that I wouldn't have to rely on that, because then where do you find a new job?
Yeah. What do you do for health insurance then? So you have your own real
but I've had
brokerage?
because I've had 2 other small businesses in the past. I got health insurance like 16 years ago. Um, and I'm kind of grandfathered in, but it's so expensive. So it's like United, it's golden rule through United Healthcare, but they keep updating it. So when I first started paying, it was $300 a month, and I now pay $700 a month, which is outrageous.
That's insane.
Super insane.
Just for
Just me.
body? What about eyes and dental? Is it included?
Vision is not, dental is.
I also have a bone to pick with how health insurance. Like, I feel like that's another conversation,
Yeah.
but like the fact that everything is separate, like it's all head to toe inside of me. Why are we paying separate fees for separate things? Like, I have a lot of questions there, but that's something we can talk about at another time.
Yeah, and there's just monopolies and things like that to make money. All right, so you took your time because that was super scary, and then talked to some other people who had gone through it.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of gave you a little bit of hope, knowing that you're going to get through this also.
Yeah.
And build your confidence back up. Do you feel still shaken by that, or how are you feeling?
I feel more angry now. I think when it first happened, I was like, obviously so surprised and like traumatized and hurt and all of this stuff because I worked for the company for almost 10 years. And so I had been on project. It's a consulting company. So like it's all project based. And I had been on projects back to back for like the last several years. And so in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm making the company money.
Right.
Why would they let me go? And I'm like, I've never had anything bad happen on projects, whatever. So the last project that I managed ended, and literally the next day, my manager put a call on my calendar under the guise of us talking about new projects, and then some random person joined the call and it was HR, and they were like,
gosh,
Shelby, this is your last day.
That feels like such a weird betrayal of like
Terrible.
trickery right there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So that was like the surprising part, the scary, the traumatizing, and then all of that turned into anger.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, you're like going through the 7 steps of the grief process.
Yeah.
Yeah, like grieving. Denial and sad and then angry and then acceptance and then like, fuck it, time to figure out the next steps. Wow.
Yeah. I guess I'm in like a couple different like swim lanes right now. So like I'm angry still. I'm grieving a little bit, but it's like not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And I have the confidence because like I just have this weird like unwavering feeling that I know it's going to work out. And I don't know if that's just like being naive or hopeful or what it is, but like I don't know, it's like my intuition. And not trying to like sound cocky either, but I just like know it's going to work out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what am I going to tell myself? I'm gonna live on the street.
Exactly. I'm just gonna be a loser, and I'm gonna go live in that abandoned RV down the road.
Literally, who
No
knows
one
what they're
wants me.
doing?
No one loves me. I guess I should go eat worms.
Yeah,
Sometimes I think that song to myself,
I
but
can't do
no.
that.
Oh, well, and it's not gonna happen.
No.
And you're a little bit of a risk taker, so I think that you were drowning where you are. And people say that all the time. There's like a gajillion books on successful people or actors or whatever that getting fired or let go from one thing ended up being the best thing ever for them. So,
Yeah. It feels like that. It is a little scary just because I do have a house that I just bought last year and like financial stuff like we have to be responsible for. But another thing they don't teach you in college is like how to apply for unemployment.
they're not going to teach you that because they're trying to teach you how to go get a job.
Teach me things that I'm going to use in real life. Teach me about my credit score and like how to financially be responsible and like stock market shit. I don't know. So I had to do that journey, like
Yeah.
apply for unemployment just until I find like a more full-time thing. But that was chaotic too.
Yeah.
And
But that
like,
safety net is there. And so that's good to have at
yeah,
least something.
at least something that'll cover like
Yeah.
my biggest expenses.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always had multiple jobs. So like even though I had this full-time job, like I had other part-time jobs like helping you or like at the fitness studios and stuff. So I have those too. And that's been like a huge like saving grace.
Yeah.
But I just think that like all of that aside, the mental gymnastics that you have to do after this thing that like you've kind of put your identity in
Mm-hmm.
and like you're just like one and the same. Like when you ask somebody like,
Yeah.
"Hey, what do you do?" That's like how they define themselves instead of like, "Hey, what do you do for work?"
Right.
It's like no, they're two totally different things and like what you do for work is not like who you are as a person necessarily. So, that's been tough and I had to get over the shame of it all. Like I felt very
Oh.
embarrassed because I was like, surely I did something wrong to like deserve this. And I got over that hump. So now I talk to people about it.
Yeah.
Like I see a bunch of people whenever I'm working at the studios and I'm like, what do you do for work? Like, and I'll be like, oh, if they ask me, I'm like, well, I just recently got laid off. And then so many people have been like, oh my God, same. Or like,
100%.
this
Yeah.
happened to me last year. And if you're not honest with people and yourself about like what you're actually going through, you don't know what connections you're going to miss.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And you know, I'm sad. It hurts my heart that you felt shame about that because it had nothing to do with you or who you are. But I can understand like the embarrassment part of it. But
Yeah.
it's kind of like with my health issues. I've just started talking to more people about things, and
Yeah.
then you never know what you're going to learn. And then especially in the job arena, like you have such a dynamic personality, and we call it sparkly, and all
Mm.
the amazing things that you are, and you're super smart. So just connecting with that right person could absolutely change your life.
Yeah.
And again, I think kind of the premise of like what our podcast is about is letting other people know that they're not alone out there. And so you're kind of walking the walk at this point and saying like, here's what it is. And then other people can be like, oh my gosh, this just happened to me, or give you the, like they're going through their sadness and shame and anger
Yeah.
when you've moved through it. So you might meet somebody else who's just starting.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing. Like, I want to be honest about it for myself to
Mm-hmm.
like move through all of the feelings and stuff. But I also, like you said, you never know who you're going to meet that's like really struggling with it
Yeah.
or struggling with anything. And if you are honest and you shine a light on like the hard stuff that is like just life, then other
Mm-hmm.
people will feel comfortable and maybe be able to just like vent about their stuff too.
Yeah. And
I
you
don't
never
know.
know who you might help that day just by having that
Yeah.
conversation. Can't life is not always perfect. It's not like the curated Instagram grid that some people want to present out there.
Mm-mm.
There's some
It's
bad things that
messy.
happen. Yeah, super messy.
Yeah. And I think the more that we're honest, like with ourselves and with other people, like the closer you become with people too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't ever want to. I used to be, maybe it's because I grew up in New York. I don't know. But like, I used to be very emotionless and like closed off to people. And I'm like, keep your problems elsewhere. Like, I don't want to deal with it. And now I'm just like, let's talk about it. I want to hear. I want
Yeah.
to help, and I want to like try and relate and like make connections with people. So I don't know. We're all literally winging everything all the time.
Yes.
And I'm like now with the shame thing too, like I'm helping a friend with her Airbnbs that she manages. Like I've been cleaning houses, and I didn't feel shame or embarrassment about that, because like, I feel like you look at someone who's like a cleaner and you're like, oh, like why are you doing that? You should be doing something else.
I don't. I look at that like I hate it and I am not good at it. And I am so grateful that there are other people who get
Yeah.
joy out of doing that. We all have our things
Yep.
that bring us joy. And like I don't know, cleaners like actually really like it. And they make really good money.
Really good money. I like it. Everyone leaves me alone. I can sometimes, like, I bring the dog with me and he just sleeps and I have my music blasting and I'm cleaning. Like cleaning and cooking and mowing the lawn are all like very therapeutic.
Yeah, this is like therapeutic. Yeah.
And it's just like relaxing for me.
Well,
So the only time I felt embarrassed about it was when I told my dad and he was just like, you shouldn't be doing that. Like you have a college degree. Like, well, I got laid off. So the college degree is literally like light it on fire, throw it in the trash.
yeah.
No one cares.
No one cares.
No. And so like you also have to like separate the expectations that other people, like your parents or whoever, might have for
Mm-hmm.
you, and realize that like they're not helping me at all financially, emotionally,
Yeah.
clearly. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like you have that thought and opinion about things. Like I don't have to believe that, and I don't have to like adhere to that, because
No.
like you're not doing anything helpful.
And it doesn't matter. I mean, even if they were helping with those type of things, like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
None
They
of it
should just be
matters.
like supportive and encouraging. Like, hey, just checking in on you. I want to see how things are going. Not, I'm going to be here to criticize you, because that doesn't help anybody.
Yeah. That's the other tricky thing. And also another conversation we can have is parent stuff, expectations, and all of that.
That's a whole, I don't even know how we go through
Jesus,
that.
that's a whole other season of the podcast.
With having, yeah.
But yeah.
And so now I feel like I'm going to kind of weave that back in of like this point of curiosity. Now you're kind of like, and you know, nobody can see it, but you do have the word gypsy in your house. And I think that is representative of so many different things of like, yes, being curious and risk taking and adventurous, and also kind and like, I don't know, kind of embraces all the things that I think that you are. And so moving forward with this is opening more opportunities, and you're learning a lot about yourself and how freaking resilient you are again.
And scrappy. I don't know if scrappy is the right word, but like I'll figure it out.
You're gonna figure it out.
Yeah. And I'll say yes to everything that I want to do.
Yeah.
Until I like can't anymore. I am reaching my limit. I think I have a lot of shit going on, but I'm grateful for it. And I love feeling exhausted at the end of the day, like physically. I would rather have that than like be mentally exhausted from dealing with like assholes all day on a computer.
Yes.
That is, to me, is just like not how I want to live my life anymore.
No, I think I feel that so much, because like just my mental exhaustion and emotional just comes from like rethinking my day over and over and over and over, and dealing with different people and emotions and personalities, and just feeling like I'm never good enough. Like no one's ever gonna be happy with me. Like I'd rather be out cleaning houses also and be like, okay, that's sparkling.
You get the
And
immediate
like
satisfaction. Yeah.
Exactly.
People don't give you like the immediate satisfaction that like that stuff does. So like that's your, I don't know, is that not a trigger? Is that like something that's telling you like, hey, something's got to change because you're feeling this way?
Yeah, I think there's a lot that's been brewing. And I go back to, and we might have said it in another podcast, but just my health for like the last year. And then a hospital visit that I had in May is like, it's just nagging. There's just something constantly nagging. I feel like I need to go into nature and sit and then be struck by lightning or a spirit guide. I don't know.
I don't know about lightning, but
some kind of guidance. But yeah.
You should do ayahuasca.
I would do ayahuasca. That's a whole other. Yeah, I have a friend who's done some in Boulder and had a fantastic experience. Also did it in Costa Rica, but loved the Boulder experience more.
But of course they do it in Boulder.
Of course.
Oh my God. I would go away to do it.
But I mean, the ketamine, we're going to get derailed again.
Oh yeah. We can wrap up here. Okay. But ketamine, go ahead.
Yeah, no, just, I mean, it's like ketamine therapy is amazing. And that is a whole other conversation to have, but like doing it with your therapist, and it is illuminating, and then everybody gets something different out of it. My constant theme is like this tree of life and how we are all connected. And if people could only realize that their actions and words have a trickle down effect to everybody, maybe we would all be kinder to one another and a little more respectful to one another, and have love be the priority. But anyway,
have ketamine therapy in college. That should be required. Do this drug and talk about your feelings.
Exactly.
Dating would be a lot easier if people did that. Yet again, another topic to cover.
So many topics.
Yeah.
All right. So this one was good, though. We'll wrap that up on like, yes, people who have been laid off. And I would be curious to hear how other people of different age groups have handled it, because I'm sure it's been extraordinarily stressful. Like what you mentioned, those who have a family and children to support. Oh, just so daunting. Yeah. I feel like it's a fresh start, and you're going to create your life, and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. And we're all just figuring it out, I think, is the moral of the story. Like, life is never perfect, and shit's going to hit the fan on a continual basis, like throughout your life. And you just have to have like the right people in your life to support you.
Your support system is so strong. Yes. And then, and pivoting, our favorite word out of COVID, but it's true. Like, okay, gotta just change the next thing. You're not going to curl up and go die.
No. I think the last thing I want to say, the one of the million last things I want to say, is that something that it's kind of like a mindset that I tried to adopt, I think, probably during COVID, because like broke up with a boyfriend who I was living with for 4 years right before COVID. And then that happened. And then I just realized that I was holding so tightly to things like physical things and expectations of myself and other people, and like how they should act, how I should act. Once I kind of like relinquished control and was just like, all right, we're just going to roll with stuff. And I know myself enough to know that like I'll always figure it out. I think when you can like try and adopt that mindset, things become a little bit less stressful, because you know that like everything's going to be okay at the end of the day. It might look different, but it's always going to be okay.
Yeah.
And that is it.
and that was good. I think that, and that's a whole other topic. I think we should have a topic just on expectations, but holy cow, when you can kind of let go of that, like especially in my job, I try to guess every kind of situation and plan that out and like play each one out without even talking to a client first. And then I learned if I just ask them, they might have a totally different answer or response, one that I haven't even thought of.
Typically they do.
Oh my God, it's a human.
Yeah.
You can't plan it out.
When have they ever responded the way that you created in your head?
Yeah, never.
Yeah.
Yeah. So expectations.
Truly. Throw them out.
Throw those out.
Who needs them?
So I'm going to go with, I'm still curious about your life and what's going to happen.
Yay. You and me both. We'll freaking see. But yeah, that's it. That's a wrap. A lot of changes, a lot of chaos. Trying to find calm in all of it. A new podcast producer who's the best already. And cheers to the next freaking journey.
I know. Take them in little bite-sized chunks.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
All right. Let's close it out with a cheers. Yay. Which is my Gatorade for today.
We did it.
And that
you always have a seat at our table.
Absolutely. 100%. You always have a seat at our table.
The one time I didn't fuck it up. Like I say something different every time. Okay, that's it.
Okay, that's a wrap. Bye.
See ya.
And that's a wrap of another episode of Bring Something to the Table.
We hope you enjoyed diving into the wild world of candid conversations with us.
Remember, you can catch all of our episodes on your favorite podcast platform.
And if you love what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review.
Your support means the world to us.
So until next time, keep embracing the messiness of life, keep seeking those shared experiences, and always remember,
you deserve a seat at our table.
Bye. Bye.